All right, 8 seconds.
Move aside and let the man go through. Let the man go through. Move aside and let the man go through. Let the man go through. Move aside and let the man go through. Let the man go through. Move aside and let the man go through. Let the man go through. If I stole
You are in the hood. Welcome to the hood. I am your host, William Duvall. You're tuned to 104.1 River West Radio, WXRW. Welcome to the hood. I have a special guest today. Welcome to the hood, Wendell.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate being here.
So tell me how to pronounce your last name correctly. I should have asked you before we went on the air. How do you pronounce it?
I pronounce it Rishka.
Rishka.
Yeah.
Polish?
Bohemian.
Bohemian. Interesting. I met someone recently who identified themselves as being Bohemian.
Yep.
And they had to explain what Bohemian meant, the origins of Bohemian, to some people who we were with, because they didn't believe that Bohemian was like a ethnic designation or something like that. Anyway, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you.
So, Wendell, you are the, am I correct, the executive director of Project Return?
That is correct, yes.
And I had one of the founders on last week,
Yes.
Joe Elwanger,
Yep, Pastor Joe.
Pastor Joe. He was, it was great to have him on the show. So how long have you been involved with Project Return?
So I am just finishing up my 25th year.
25th year.
Yeah. Came in 2000, so yeah.
You've been involved for a long time.
Yes, I have.
Now it's 42 years or 45 years?
45 years, yeah.
Total?
45
It
total,
dates
yep.
back?
Yep.
Okay. Now tell me and the audience, what is Project Return?
So Project Return is a nonprofit organization. We're located downtown Milwaukee here. We exist to help individuals returning from incarceration with their reentry needs. So that really depends on the individual that's coming to us, what they're needing assistance with. We work with every individual one-on-one to be able to help them address the barriers that are impeding them from being able to be successful with that reentry, with an intent to to help individuals become positive, permanent members of our community.
Have you ever been to jail?
I have not, no.
That's a good thing, I would say. What got you involved with Project Return? How did you become involved with the organization?
Sure. I was in college. I went to Wartburg College in Northeast Iowa, up in Waverly, Iowa. And I was a senior, and like many seniors, not necessarily knowing what I wanted to do with my life. And one of my professors put me in contact with an organization called the Lutheran Volunteer Corps. And the Lutheran Volunteer Corps is an organization that at that time was operational in 9 cities across the United States. 3 on the East Coast, 3 in the Midwest, and 3 on the West Coast. And what it was if you applied for it, got accepted into it, you then applied to work in social justice in one of those cities.
Social justice.
A social justice cause.
What does that mean, social justice?
So it could mean a lot of different things. With Project Return, it is about reentry services and reentry and advocacy for individuals returning from incarceration.
Right.
In LVC, I had 6 housemates. Each one of us had a different social justice job around the city of Milwaukee. So I had a couple who were teachers in alternative high schools.
Okay.
I had one who worked at the Urban Ecology Center, working for environmental justice and
Is
education.
that in Washington Park or over here in Riverside?
She worked in Riverside.
Okay.
The Washington Park at that time hadn't been opened yet. In fact, the Riverside one was just a shack in Riverside Park here. So just to see how much that organization has grown over the years is amazing, too.
They're pretty nice now.
They are fantastic.
In
yes.
fact, the one in Washington Park is the first all-electric building in Milwaukee, I believe.
Yep, and they have been doing a lot of refinements in that building, too, over just the last few weeks, too.
Okay, so one of your roommates was
Yep.
worked at the Urban Ecology Center, and
then I had 2 roommates who were working at they were working as youth ministers in Lutheran churches.
Okay.
And then one of my housemates worked with Hope House on the south side of Milwaukee, homeless shelter.
I've heard of Hope House.
Hope House is a fantastic organization too. They really do a lot of work over in the south side.
And so you found a job listing with Project Return or what?
So once you got approved to be a Lutheran volunteer, they sent you a packet of different organizations that would accept Lutheran volunteer corps members. And I'd worked in Waterloo, Iowa, with the Catholic Worker House and the Catholic Worker Movement. So that's a shelter for individuals in Waterloo, Iowa. And I'd been volunteering through my junior and senior year in college there. And so I was really interested in homelessness and anti-homelessness measures and shelters units. So I figured that's what I would be doing in LVC. So through the LVC process, you apply to 3 different organizations. In the booklet, I applied for a homeless shelter in Dover, Delaware, a youth homeless shelter in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and Project Return here in Milwaukee. And the only reason I applied here in Milwaukee at Project Return is that it was so different than anything else that was in the book. It's like, well, I can find out a little bit more about that, and it's interesting, but I ain't going to end up there. I'm going to end up in either Minneapolis or Dover. So
that's what you thought?
Totally, yes. Yep.
You didn't think that Project Return was really going to pan out?
It wasn't going to sway me one way or another, and I just kind of was interested in it, so I wanted to learn a little bit more about it through the interview process.
So what happened?
So interviewed with the 3 different organizations, and I'm an individual that just kind of follows my gut, and my heart led me to Project Return and said, hey, I can do that for a year. That's no problem, and then I'll move on and do other things.
So what'd you start out doing for the organization?
So I was a case manager, so I was working directly with our clients coming into Project Return, helping them with, finding employment.
So you're talking about gentlemen, men, I'm assuming.
Mostly men, but there was men and women.
There are men and women
Right.
coming out of prison or
Yep.
coming out of jail. So people coming out of prison,
Yep.
these are your cases.
Yep, and so it's helping those individuals navigate the system, find resources, find employment opportunities that would not discriminate against them.
No, just define resources. The word resources
Sure.
is a broad term that gets thrown around on the airwaves these days. What are resources that they need?
So it really depends on the individual that was coming in or is coming in. So we would help individuals. When I was first starting, I was helping individuals get signed up for alcohol and drug abuse treatment, and
Okay.
support programming, find out where they can get food and shelter and things of that nature. So where they can lay their head at night, where they can get food to be able to sustain themselves. Food pantries that would be able to help them out, or food or like a place where they can get a warm cooked meal.
What about like health care and
Definitely.
clothing?
Yes,
and-
definitely. Yep. And we'd have helping individuals. So we had, in those days, we had a good arrangement with St. Vincent de Paul, so we could be able to hand out vouchers to individuals to be able to go over to St. Vincent de Paul and pick out clothes that they wanted, so they'd kind of go there and shop, and we would be able to foot the bill for them at that. It could be like work clothing as well and things of that nature. So if an individual has a job and they need a pair of steel-toed boots or something, I'd go and take them to like a Payless shoe store and go and buy a pair of steel-toed boots for them.
Well, like guys coming, let's just say someone coming directly out of jail probably needs a lot of things.
Yep.
A job. First of all, a place to live.
Yep.
Food, clothing,
Hygiene products.
place to live.
Yep.
Job.
Yep.
Right. Then there's hygiene products. Then there's
Yep.
potentially drug and alcohol treatment and doctor care, or maybe therapy of some sort.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know.
See, and
Support groups.
And in those days, mental health, like 25 years ago, mental health issues were kind of downplayed. People didn't really want to talk about it because people didn't want to appear crazy or nuts,
Right.
whatever it might be. And so it has taken us a long, long time to get over that stigma that comes with mental health issues. So really what it amounted to was more along the lines of we were, sitting down and counseling people, letting people, vent to us and come at us and things. I remember once there was a gentleman that he was had some significant anger issues when so he'd go to his agent, his probation officer, and he'd go and he'd kind of yell at him up and down and stuff. And the agent's like, I can't handle this. My supervisor's coming down on me, wants me to revocate the guy. So he called me up and he's like, Wendell, is there anything you can do for this guy? I'm like, I don't know if I can do anything, but I can listen to him. So it's like, so we started setting up weekly meetings with him, and he'd come in and he'd holler at me and just come in at 8 o'clock in the morning, holler at me up and down. And that's how I started out my day those every week.
Was this one of your first cases?
No. This was well into it. This is after we'd moved out across church and into our newer location.
Okay.
But the thing is, with that gentleman, he was yelling at me, so he no longer yelled at his agent. He just had a lot of anger issues. So, and he was in a really good training program. And then he started to lighten up and found out that he started to become the major caregiver for his sister, who had pretty significant Down syndrome. And it began to mellow him out because he realized he had to be responsible for somebody else.
Right.
But he just needed somebody to be able to hear what he was going through. So, I mean,
interesting.
In those early days, that's kind of what we were doing a lot for individuals. We'd have people come in, and most people would come in saying, I need a job, but they're not ready for employment. These are individuals who are very much mired in their addictions or their mental health issues, and they just don't know how to be able to get that out. So we started counseling them through that to get them ready for that job that we could then help them find.
What about, like, let's say I'm coming out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a place to live. I come to you. What can you do for me?
Well, it depends on, there's a couple different avenues. So if individuals are coming in and just straight off the street, if they have some semblance of income, we do work with landlords and have established a little bit of a landlord network that will rent to people who have been formerly incarcerated, that won't discriminate against them.
Now, let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
How do you have a semblance of an income coming out of prison?
So there are different avenues. So like we have here in Milwaukee, we've got 3 work release centers that are minimum security prisons that the individuals are, the purpose of them is to get them into the workforce. If they're able to maintain and retain that employment through that reentry process, they will have attained some money and saved up some money from that income, but then also have that employment. So those are individuals that, we can help them find landlords that would rent to them that will not discriminate against them. Other individuals come out with different kinds of skill sets, as you can imagine. There are training programs inside while people are incarcerated, whether it be welding programs, cabinet making, food service, culinary arts, different programs. Different institutions have got these programs that are like the one at the welding program at Kettle Moraine Correctional Institution is great at getting people into introductory welding jobs, which are very much needed here in Milwaukee. So we can parlay that experience and that education into a job with some of the vocational partners we have.
So then you've got partner companies who are willing to hire people with a record coming out of jail.
Correct. Yeah, we're always trying to expand that network as well. So yes.
Okay, that's good to hear, because I've met a lot of people who they lose everything when they go to jail, and they don't even have to have spent years in jail. They could have spent maybe 8 months or a year and a half or whatever, some relatively short period of time, and they've lost their car, their place to live, their job, their girlfriend, their family doesn't want anything to do with them. They turn around a year and a half later, and they're coming onto the street out of jail with nothing.
Right.
So, it's and I know for a fact, based on my own experience, that, I work in real estate. I work in property management. So we look at people's backgrounds. We look at people's credit. And I have a record. And so I know that if I weren't in the property business, I'd have a hard time renting an apartment if I had to rent an apartment.
Right.
So to hear that you do have places, landlords, or property managers who are willing to rent to people that have records, you're saying?
We do. I mean, it depends too on the individual's severity of the record. I mean, there are some aspects, some individuals that are, incredibly difficult to be able to.
Yeah,
get
I
into
can
housing.
imagine.
So, like individuals who might have, who are on the registry of sex offense
Sex
registry,
offenders, right?
still a lot of landlords are pretty standoffish with that, even if they know the details of it. But
Yeah,
we
but I'm
can-
talking about, Wendell. I'm talking about somebody like me,
Yeah.
for example, an OWI.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
People will redline.
Yep.
Will put you. They just will mark you off the list right away
Right.
because you have. Maybe you have an open case,
Yeah.
or maybe it's whatever. It's a drunk driving charge,
Mhm.
or more than one drunk driving charge. You're just off the list.
Right.
I'm not talking about sex offenses.
yeah.
Those are more serious. I'm talking about minor offenses.
Yeah.
You get blacklisted.
Oh yeah, yeah. And so, but you're not universally blacklisted. There are landlords out there that would and people that would rent.
Well, that's what I'm
So,
getting at. That's
yeah.
good to hear.
Yep.
Because
Um,
I think I didn't know that, and I'm sure many people aren't aware that that's the case.
The other aspect on housing, and it's something we've just started up this year because it is a huge issue. It's a critical issue for individuals returning from incarceration. So in March of this year, we actually moved to our current location, which is on 10th and State, 1004 North 10th Street, and we're on the second floor there. But within our offices, we've also got 12 housing units.
Oh yeah, I read about that.
So individuals, and the purpose of those units is to be able to work with individuals who are going to be returning from incarceration homeless or semblance of homelessness. So as to be able to interrupt those cycles of recidivism, those cycles of homelessness, and get individuals stabilized and structured units. Get them into programming, get the individuals into programming that can help them, whether it be with their mental health issues, their addiction issues, maybe just getting involved in the FSET program so that they can get like food share employment training.
What's FSET?
Food share employment training
Food
program.
share. Okay.
So they can get their food share taken care of, but then they can also get employment training opportunities to be able to get that job or get that next job. And really, it's that first 6 months when so we're taking them from walking out the door at the Milwaukee County Reintegration Center or the Palmer Cheney Correctional Center or Marshall Shear Correctional Center or someplace like that to walking into our building. So we pick them up, we'll bring them right to our place
Wow.
and get them stabilized there. So then we'll help them. And it's a fully furnished apartment.
No, that's wonderful.
We have hygiene products there for the individuals. We have
Clothing?
clothing. We work with House of Peace to be able to get individuals into into clothing opportunities there and stuff.
What about meals and eating?
Yeah, so then we help the individuals go and we go grocery shopping with them so they can pick out food that they want to eat, but we also do have some food right there. And we're connected with St. Ben's church there, and they have a meal program, I think, 6 days a week, that they serve a hot meal for a homeless population that our residents can take part in as well.
How far is that from your building?
Actually connected to our building. It's right next door.
Well, that's
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, not very far. Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be a wonderful thing if you're coming out of jail to
Yep.
have good hot meals
Yeah, exactly.
compared to what they've been, what you've been getting.
Yep, and we're in the
in the
process
system.
of trying to establish connections with faith groups and other civic groups to maybe come in and prepare a meal with our residents and have fellowship with them right at our offices there as well.
Now, in your building there, where your offices are, now you say you've got 12 apartments,
Yes.
right? And do you all in that building offer any kind of support groups or
yeah.
anything like that, like AA or HA or
Yeah,
CA?
yeah, we've got an AODA counselor on staff. He does an AODA group every Friday afternoon. And our residents are strongly encouraged, if not voluntold, that they have to go to it to be a part of the program. We also do have programming at Turner's Hall that gives us,
The music venue?
yeah, but they've got a wellness program there. So each one of our residents get a family membership to their wellness program. So they can go there and be able to be a part of that, and that's something that happens weekly that they can go down to.
I
And
didn't
then we
know
have
about that.
And then we have a weekly circle of support, and that is facilitated by a partner organization, Thrive House, that comes in and does that for our guys as well.
So if I'm coming out of jail and I've connected with your organization, and you all set me up with an apartment, how long is that apartment? How long am I going to be living there? This is a transitional
It is.
type situation
Yeah, it's
where
bridge
you want to
housing.
help me find
Right.
my own place?
Yeah, so the goal on it is that we get you in and work on your particular needs, as well as trying to help you find gainful employment or a means to be able to support yourself.
Yeah.
So we got one individual right now that we're working with to be able to get him his SSI to be able to get, help with that process there.
SSI, Social Security
Yep, exactly.
Insurance.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because he's not able to work.
Okay.
with some of his mental health issues and things. But right now he's being denied. Well, he's got this 6-month period, and it's 6 months is the answer to your question there and stuff. But he's got this 6 months to really kind of work on that, and we're working with him through this of how do you live? How do you do this stuff? Because he's an individual, unfortunately, that has bounced back and forth in the system a little bit.
And when you say he's being denied Social Security insurance benefits?
Well, he doesn't. So this is a huge aspect of what we do is working within the system with our guys, because a lot of the individuals that come into Project Return don't know how to talk and how to be able to navigate the system.
Neither do I.
So
who does?
For instance, I had a guy that came in and he was coming in our office every.
It's complicated.
Yeah, every day, and he didn't have identification and stuff. And I said, and I said to him, it's like, what's holding you from getting your Social Security card? He's like, I don't have identification. I'm like, and I asked him, what are you doing right now? And he's like, nothing. I'm like, can we go to the
Let's
Social
do
Security
it.
Administration building?
Yeah.
And I took him there, and they called his name, and we went up, and we were talking. It's like I said, this is so and so. He needs a Social Security card. He doesn't have identification. What can he use to get his identification?
Yeah.
And they started rattling off things. One of the things that he rattled off was if he has had recent discharge papers from a hospital. Well, turns out when he got released, he fell off the bus, sprained his ankle pretty bad, got discharge papers from the hospital. We went and got that and his prison ID, and he was able to get his Social Security card. And the next day, then we helped him get state ID, and within a week he was working. And it's just because he didn't know how to ask the questions properly. So that's really a huge part of our job, is to be able to help people navigate that system and ask the right questions.
Yeah, that's got to be tricky, because who would know? It's a daunting.
It is. And people give up. I mean, and understandable that people would give up, because you've been beaten down so often. You've been told you're not going to be anything more than this DOC number here, and you've been told that you're not worth it. And you've been told that from before kindergarten, before you got into school. And it takes a really strong mentality to say, no, that ain't me. That is not me. I'm going to be somebody different.
How long have you been in the position of executive director?
18 years.
Well, quite a while.
Yeah.
All right. And now you all, in this past spring, opened the 12 apartment units, right?
Yep.
Now, are there plans to add additional apartments?
We would love to. That, like everything else in our society, really is dependent on the funding, the sources that we can get for it. Right now, we've got the apartments that we have pretty much through a federal grant for the first 3 to 4 years.
So you got a federal
Yep.
government grant.
Yep. The appropriations money that was a bill that was passed in 2024.
So last year,
Yep.
before the current administration,
Yep.
the last administration.
Correct.
So that enabled you to what? What did you? Are you guys leasing these apartments?
We are.
This
Yes.
floor
yes.
of apartments. Is it
Yeah.
one floor of apartments,
Yep.
or what?
One floor, and that's where our offices are, as well as the apartments.
Okay.
We worked with the building developer there to be able to set up this program, to be able to make sure that she's comfortable with it. And the goal is, on top of that, is in time to be able to take over more and more floors till the point that we'll have the entire building, which is, I think, 57 units.
So what does it cost to open up 12 apartments and operate them on an annual basis?
So in order to just the rent for our floor would be about $20,000 a month. So you're
For
looking
the 12 units
and our office space.
and
yes.
your office
Yeah,
space.
So
okay.
that's about the where we're at with things.
And you furnished all these apartments and
did.
renovated them.
Well, they were, yes, the
Or
building developer renovated.
So
yeah.
these are brand new aparpments,
Yep.
Essentially.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
With kitchens. Are they
Kitchens,
1-bedroom apartments?
1-bedroom apartments, one
Beautiful.
bath. Every unit has their
Beautiful.
own bathroom as well.
Well, then, since we're on the subject of funding, let's segue into the fundraiser.
Yes.
Is that correct? What you all are doing this Saturday?
I had a board member who called it a fund and friend raiser. So
A
yeah,
fund. Wait. Say that again.
it was. She referred to it as a fund and friend raiser.
A fund and a friend raiser. Okay, I like that. So tell me about the event that's taking place this weekend. What is it?
Yeah, it's our annual banquet and awards assembly. It's Celebrate the Return. So it's our 45th annual Celebrate the Return. It is going to be held at Alverno College on this Saturday, the 18th of October. The registration hour starts at 5 o'clock with meals served at 6 and program to follow.
Okay. If somebody wanted to go to this event at 5 o'clock at Alverno College this weekend, how do they go?
So they should reach out to either myself or my development coordinator. His name's Adam Rogan. They can give us a call. Right now, registration online is closed, but there are some tickets available that we could work with. They just need to give us a call, like either they can give us a call at 414-374-8029, or they can email myself or Adam. My email is Wendell, Wendel, at projectreturnmilwaukee.org. Adams is Adam, Adam, at projectreturnmilwaukee.org.
Nice. And so are you guys trying to raise a certain amount of money with this event or what?
We are. There's not necessarily a set goal. What we raise goes right back into the operations of Project Return. So helping the individuals with counseling, helping the individuals with their work-related needs, as well as securing proper work clothing and trainings and stuff. So there's not necessarily a set dollar amount that we're looking for, but the more the merrier.
Where does Project Return get its money to operate?
So the vast majority of our funding comes from private foundations and grantors. So organizations like Siebert Lutheran Foundation, Bader Philanthropies, Greater Milwaukee Foundation have all supported Project Return in the past and continue to do so in the future.
Okay, nice. The event this Saturday,
Yep.
which I believe I am going to be at.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Is there any kind of entertainment that's going on? What's happening?
Yeah, so what we really try and do is highlight the work and the folks that we work with. So we've got a musician that is formerly incarcerated, that's a partner of ours. We've got a spoken word artist who is also a partner of Project Returns, and then we're honoring the Don Bine Volunteer Award, as well as the Elijah O'Neill Award of Excellence, and that's going towards an individual who's been formerly incarcerated, who's shown, other individuals that they can be more than that DOC number or more than what they've been told. So we're honoring a few individuals that way as well.
So you're going to have some success stories.
Yep, and then we'll have
at the party,
and we'll have one testimonial of a former client of Project Returns, and testimony of a funding partner who is going to be there talking about why they support Project Return as well.
Well, that sounds great, Wendell. Thank you very much for coming into the show.
Of course.
And sharing what Project Return does and what you do there at the organization. Yeah, as I said, we had Pastor Joe on last week, and hopefully we'll get Rob back on the airwaves here soon.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, he loves it out here. Yep.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for coming in.
No
and this has been WXRW 104.1 River West Radio. This is The Hood. I am your host, William Duvall. Come back to The Hood next week.